genuinely, I would like to keep competing, but it honestly depends on whether I'm capable of competing. Like if I'm genuinely just not playing well, then I'm probably just going to stream. And if I'm not able to get to a level where I feel like I can compete with all these guys, then yes. If I'm not able to do that, then I'll stream. But if I feel like I'm capable of competing still and my ideas will still work, blah, 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 basically that I'm not washed, then I'll play.
Hi everyone, welcome to 1v1. I'm joined today by FNS following NRG's 2-0 loss to G2. So FNS, I don't want to linger too long on the loss, but were there any maybe positive takeaways that you can kind of take away from this match, things that you feel like maybe the team improved upon?
I mean, honestly, it feels like the compared to the previous week, it just like it looks the way it looks in matches and the way we play in matches, it almost feels like we're not progressing. Um, and there's plenty of reasons why, but I think the biggest factor for us, I know you asked for positives, but it's very difficult to think of them when you get 2-0'd. And also, it feels like the game isn't as close as it should have been or something. They should have destroyed us today, and they did. Mm-hmm. But, we're not giving ourselves a chance to stay in the game or even get into the game at the start. So our slow starts are just kind of costing us any momentum that we could potentially have. And it's an issue that I really don't really like. We have to look back and review and see how to fix it. But as a positive, it's really hard to think of any right now because as far as form goes, for all of us, it just feels like we give up so many free kills. We give up so much map control, and it's not like that in scrims. In scrims, it feels a little bit different. So, just not sure how to translate it yet.
Mm-hmm. How would you characterize the mood right now? Because you guys are at 3-5. It's kind of a difficult position. If you guys win out, you maybe make the playoffs, but just kind of what's the mood like on the team right now? How, I guess, hopeful are you guys that you guys will be able to make the playoffs?
We're always going to look at it one game at a time. It is not about, I'm not even looking at playoffs. It is what it is. You just can't lose, and we've already lost twice. So until there's that, light at the end of the tunnel when we win a map for once, mm-hmm. then, we could start thinking about those kinds of things. But as of right now, it just feels like we're very deflated in matches. And genuinely, I couldn't tell you why. It's a very difficult, we'd have to review, go over it. But yeah, of course, everyone believes in their head going into the match that we can win and we're going to win. But then these little things start happening and then people just snowball on us. And it feels like it's very hard to find answers.
Mm-hmm. So, despite the losses, you obviously just came back to competing a couple weeks ago. How does it feel just being back on stage and kind of playing with your teammates again that you played with back on Optic and Envy?
It feels good. It's nice to play again, but just the start that we've had doesn't make it so much fun, as much fun as if we'd be winning. Mm-hmm. We would have hoped for a better start than this. We would have hoped for at least a map win here and there, or even close maps. It feels like today's maps weren't even close. Felt like they were ahead of us the entire time. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we had a lead in either of the games. So yeah, it feels good to be back and playing, but at the same time, that stress level when you're losing and not playing well, similar to what happened last year at the beginning where we just can't get it together. Mm-hmm. Until we made the changes we needed to make to finally start competing again, that's what that feels like. This situation right now feels exactly like how it did at the beginning of last year.
Do you feel that it's been a little more challenging for yourself, that you're not just coming back to competitive for the first time in a few months, but you're also kind of taking on that IGL role? I know obviously you did it before, but
it's hard. Yeah, it's definitely difficult. Only because you're not completely caught up with the meta as much as, and by caught up, I don't mean I don't know what's going on. I mean more I just haven't played these as much as these people have played over the last 10 months. Mm-hmm. So yeah, in that sense, sure, but it is a challenge that I knew I was willing to accept, and it's even harder now considering our record and all of that stuff, and just like I said, just the snowball effect of us losing 2 in a row. Mm-hmm. Is definitely very, very difficult to maintain a level of positivity when you're in this situation. But I accepted coming back to compete, and now we have to deal with it.
Yeah. So I want to take a step back a little bit from the games and the competition. Um, you've obviously kind of made a name for yourself as a streamer, like the past few months, and the last year through the beginning of this year. Uh, did it surprise you, like how popular you became as a streamer?
Yeah, I'd say there's no way I would have expected the growth that I had. The community that we built together, myself and the viewers, it was pretty insane to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of overwhelming at times. Similar to this situation here, when you first jump into something, it's very overwhelming, and then you kind of get the hang of it. So it's a similar situation to streaming as well. It's like you try it, and then you see how it goes. But then when things start going well for you, you want to continuously do it. And because I was able to build a community, that was as great as it was, and it was only getting more popular, even through watch parties and stuff. It just made me want to do it more and more. So it was great.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is like your favorite part about streaming?
The ability to build a community, to see chatters like that you've seen before come back and come back and come back, and you kind of start to feel as if you're a very regular part of a lot of people's day, and that's like a very rewarding feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Along with obviously just the ability to create my own schedule. If I really need to take a day off, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not the same as competing at all, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just a lot more easygoing. But it is a grind. You have to stay consistent. You have to be there for the people that are waiting for you to get on,
Right.
and just that enjoyment that I get from just, I don't know. I like making people. I generally like making people laugh. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that people enjoy my streams because I try to do that to the best of my ability and entertain and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like anything, it does take a toll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
definitely. I mean, yeah, it seems like people have really enjoyed your streams, so doing something right. Um, so kind of looking forward a little bit, I think, myself and probably a lot of people are wondering, not to look too far ahead, but like next year, I mean, is it your intention to continue to compete, or do you think you'll go back to streaming after the season?
it's a tough question that I've been asked multiple times already, and genuinely, I would like to keep competing, but it honestly depends on whether I'm capable of competing. Like if I'm genuinely just not playing well, then I'm probably just going to stream. And if I'm not able to get to a level where I feel like I can compete with all these guys, then yes. If I'm not able to do that, then I'll stream. But
Mm-hmm.
if I feel like I'm capable of competing still and my ideas will still work, blah blah blah. Basically, that I'm not washed, then I'll play.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how I feel going into next year, and then obviously I'll make that decision as soon as whenever basically champs is over.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we make it or not, that's probably when I'll make my decision on whether I want to commit to full time playing or commit to streaming because I think it's necessary and fair to my teammates that they know as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, appreciate the candidness
Yeah.
there. And then, yeah, I mean, that's all the questions I have. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Any message for the fans?
Honestly, I just want to apologize. We've been playing pretty mediocre, and it sucks, but we are trying very, very hard to stay in the meta. This is just a very, very difficult situation because Sam and I just have. It's hard to. You know what? I'm not going to make any excuses. We'll play better next time.
All right, then. Well, and on that note, thank you for the
Thank
interview
you.
and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thank you.